Hello, this is Katie Johnson. Thanks for joining me today. Today I wanted a chance to specifically play with this stamp set. And as I pulled out the product that was going to support the card I was going to make, I ended up with what you see in front of you here. So let me go through it really quickly and then I'll clear my workspace. This is some beautiful paper that is foil. See the shiny in there? Isn't that awesome? And then it's got the a matte finish in it too. This actually goes with a suite that is a desert suite, but I thought it kind of looked watery. And so we're going to use this as the background on our card today. And then because it's going to be a sea scene, I wanted to add some seaweed to it. And I didn't have a seaweed something, but I did have these delicate edges dies. And so I decided to cut some of them. And I thought this one looked like it could work for seaweed. And I think if you've watched my things before, you know this is just a little 3-ring binder. It's like half size. You can get them at Walmart or any office supply store, but I keep pages in here for every one of my die sets so I can see what they look like when they're cut out. And this is the one that I'm going to use for the seaweed. Doesn't that look like seaweed? Let me know what you think. Or maybe you like that one better. Let me know if you think that would look better as a seaweed thing. And by the way, I cut this out of the green, and then I cut it a second time out of the red, and then, well, orange, whatever that is, and fussy cut it with a scissors and mounted it on. So you could actually make this one right here with colored flowers going up a green background. And that has nothing to do with today's card, so let me go ahead and put that away. This is the one I've already got pre-cut and ready to go, but if you think that one looks better, let me know, because I can always come back and make another sample. Unfortunately, this is pre-taped, so if you make comments while you're watching, I will see them, and I can go ahead and play and know that that's something you want to see, but I won't be able to respond while you're watching here. And then I wanted to add a little bit of twine to this just for some interest. And this is what's going to be my paper. And you know what? It's got this brushed look because I think it was supposed to be like landscapes and desert, but I'm going to turn it this way because I think that works maybe a little bit better for the tall seaweed look. You can see I've got these things already cut here. And if you're wondering what the colors are, this is mint macaron that I'm using for my paper to go with what's in the foils. Now, I couldn't quite decide whether I wanted to put the white on here for nice contrast or whether I wanted to put vanilla on here because it kind of blends more into the background. But I think when I lay it out here, I think it almost looks like it fades too much into the background. But I'm going to hold them both out here because I'm just not sure yet until I get it all the way finished. And by the way, this is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, which has 4 different colors in it. So it's got the black and gray granite and vanilla and white. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way because not only is he just a cute little image over here, but there's something really special that you can do with this sea turtle stamp set. And if you read the description for it, you saw it referenced something about a reversible stamp set. All right, the truth is there's nothing special about this set that makes it reversible. This is photopolymer, any of your photopolymer stamps can be reversible. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. It's just that it works better when you have an image that's symmetrical. So in other words, left, right, left, it's going to look basically the same. And the way the artist designed these, that's what you're going to see, is that it's basically a symmetrical stamp. And by the way, I will also point out to you, this was larger than I anticipated it being. So most of the time, when you see an image on the front, like this is where I'm going to pull my sentiment out, this is going to be a birthday card. When you see a sentiment printed on the front, that is the size of the stamp on almost every stamp set that Stampin' Up! Has, but not this one. This is a gigantic image. Where's my sea turtle? Look at him. Oh my gosh, look at how huge he is. So that's this image that's right here. And then there is a smaller turtle, and here he is right over here. Okay, so it was too big to fit everything on if they tried to print it all on the front. Okay, so I'm going to make this on a white card. And then we're going to just cover the front of this card with this gorgeous paper. So let me go ahead and cut this down to size. So a regular card size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And normally I tend to go 1/4 inch smaller. This time I only went an 1/8 inch smaller because I just wanted a hint of the white showing around. And I'm just checking it right now to make sure that I did a good job cutting. And now we're going to glue this on and it will be ready to proceed. There is the front of my card, and again, I'm still not quite sure on this twine. I'm going to wait until I've got the whole card assembled, and then I'm going to come back and actually wrap it all the way around on the inside of the card as well. So that's my plan with that one. Here are my two cut seaweeds, and what I'm going to do just kind of for framing the imagery is I'm going to put this one tall, and then I'm going to bring this one in and just let it kind of make a little frame in the corner there for my sea turtles. Before I do that, though, I kind of had a plan of maybe, I was going to do a big one and a little one, sticking one of them's body underneath here, so I'm not going to glue that down yet. Let's talk about this whole reversible thing with the stamp. All right, turtles are green, so I've pulled in a piece of Pear Pizzazz paper. For tone on tone, I also have Pear Pizzazz ink, and then for contrast, I've got some soft suede ink. So here's the stamp. And the thing about our photopolymer stamps is you can stamp with either side. The chemistry is the same front and back. It just has to stick to the block, and you can stamp with either side. So this is the side with all the detail in it. Here's all the little ridges. My thumbnail is jumping down into there. So this is going to stamp the detail, and then the back side is absolutely smooth. Let's just see what that reversible image is going to look like. So I'm putting my detail side to the block, and now I have my smooth side here, and let's ink it up. This is going to provide just the background shape for the turtle itself. Now, this is kind of dark, so I'm going to stamp off. I brought a piece of scrap paper in here, and then we'll just come down here and stamp our guy. Okay, now for the magic, I'm going to clean this. This is Stampin' Up! Chamois, and I just keep mine in a stamp case. I'm going to clean off the green because and then before the ink dries on here, I also have decided I'm going to heat emboss it in clear because, you know, turtle's shiny and it's a watery scene. So the clear embossing is really going to make a difference on how this card turns out in the end. And I did choose to do this while I had the brown ink on there as well, because I think that will just make the whole body all glistening and shiny. So here's the heat. It's always fun for me to watch the change happen as that embossing powder melts on my image. So just look at how special that is now with the shininess on the shell. And here's our little small one. I'm going to do 2 of these guys. All right, there is no die for this die set, but this is easy to fussy cut. All right, let's bring in our seaweed. We've got our sea turtles here. We're going to start to assemble the finished card, but I do want to point out one more thing. This paper, I said it was from a pack of stuff that was intended to go for like a desert scene. So I picked out the one that was blue and green, well, blue, green, and kind of gold, orangey. But there's another one over here that's got a lot more orange in it. And in this stamp set, look at this. There's a couple of sea stars and a sea urchin. So I actually took and stamped them and did the same thing. Stamped them and then cut them out on this part that's got mostly the orange, but a little bit of that gold flecking showing through. And I stamped these in a dark brown color. I used early espresso for those. So I've got a couple more elements there that I'm going to be able to add to my finished card. All right, here is the card front. The next thing will be to add these things to it. And let's see, we're going to start by just checking out what the layout will be for the turtles themselves. Now, you can let me know if you think there's something better than what I did, but realize that you're watching a taped one, so I will only see it after the fact. My plan was to put these 2 little guys down in the corner and add this one up here in the middle. And then I was going to put him way in, this is going to be on dimensionals, put this one way in the So I think that will be the plan, which means after I get this piece glued down, I am going to need to slip him under real quick before the glue dries. So that was just working out what the plan was going to be. Now, the next thing is, this is pretty skinny. So I'm going to use my liquid glue on here. I can come trim those off after the fact, but I do need to get my little guy on here. So a little bit of tape, lift this up and stick his legs underneath. And if this front flipper isn't attached, that's fine. It just gives a little more dimension to the project. Before I go on, I need to snip these off. These are longer than is needed for our card. All right, let's get this one mounted down here. Oh, look at that. I'm going to have a little bit extra left over. I'm going to cut it off right there. We'll put this down on the bottom. So are you a fan of sea turtles? Do you know anyone who's a big fan of sea turtles? My grandson, it's his favorite animal in the world. So this card is actually going to go to him for his birthday, which is coming up in a couple of months. All right, let's get some of these other ones on here. Just because we're going to build the turtles are our main scene, so the turtles will have to go on last so that they're the top thing, the top layer on the card. All right, let's put this thing right down here. Careful to make sure his arm is within the confines of the card, not off. And then let's pull out some dimensionals to finish off some of this. So we'll put a dimensional behind this guy. I just love the whole flowy look of the water scenes. So much visual depth in the water. I mean, not just like deep down in the water, but how far you can see when you're in the water, and then how that translates into the projects. All right, let's get you on, talking to my little guys here, and then we will come on and add Mama. Now Mama is going to get, oh, you know what I'm going to use? Stampin' Up! Sells foam sheets as well as the dimensionals, so. And just to make it all good, got this little piece left over. Let's just keep her head up too. This is one of my favorite sentiment sets, Peaceful Moments. It just covers so many different bases. We've got birthday, sympathy, thank you, congratulations, and then life is better with a friend. It's just always good. Okay, so let's see. I've already got the birthday one mounted. Let's stamp that one. So what I've done, I didn't plan this very well, but that's okay. You get to see how I'm fitting it afterwards. What I want to do is to fit the curve of the turtle's body into the little space that I've got up here. And we'll stick them underneath there. And I wanted to leave it close enough that I had room for, I didn't want to have his flipper hidden away underneath. So I had to be able to do this and fit it all on. And now that I see what it looks like with the starkness of the white on the rest of the card, now I'm very comfortable going ahead and using the white twine to finish off for the embellishments. I'm going to put a knot right about here. So I'm leaving myself room to tie the bow, and I'm going to wrap it around twice. So there is our very shiny underwater scene. We're going to keep the rhinestones kind of low because one of the things the rhinestones are doing is helping to highlight that sentiment. That your eye is drawn into the sparkle, and it's just going to be kind of drawn in, and that way it'll see that sentiment down there. So there's our card, made with this beautiful paper that has the foils in it. Little die cut border die used as seaweed on here, sparkled up with some rhinestones, and two-step stamping with the sea turtle set. And truly any photopolymer set that you have with a semi-symmetrical image, it's going to work for doing two-step stamping, because the photopolymer, the chemistry, either side of this is going to take the ink and either side of it is going to stick nicely to your block. So let me know in the comments, please, what you think of this project right here. And if you like this kind of video, if this is a useful way for you to learn about how to use product and see some cute projects, then please go ahead and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and remember to do whatever that is to turn on notifications, ring the bell, and that way you'll get notified when something else posts. If you're watching on Facebook, just make sure you're following my page, and you should get notified every time I post a new video like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. I'm Katie Johnson.